Have you ever opened a business video, a financial statement, or even a simple spreadsheet and thought, yeah, I definitely missed a class somewhere in life? You hear words like cash flow, margins, EBITDA, operating profit, burn rate, and suddenly it feels like everyone else got a secret manual you never received. And the worst part is, you don't even feel dumb. You just feel behind, like you should understand this by now, but somehow you don't. If that's you, trust me, you're not broken. You were just never taught business finance in a human way. Here's the thing. Most people don't fail at business because they're lazy or incapable. They fail because nobody ever explained business finance in a language that makes sense. They were taught formulas instead of thinking, rules instead of logic, words instead of meaning. I spend way too much time thinking about how people misunderstand business finance. And if you're someone who wants to start a business, grow a side hustle, or simply stop feeling lost every time money is discussed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now let me challenge a belief early. Business finance is not about numbers. It's about decisions. The numbers only tell you whether your decisions are working. Most beginners think business finance is accounting, but it's not. Accounting records the past. Finance decides the future. And here's what most people don't realize. You can be profitable and still go broke. You can have sales and still fail. You can grow revenue and still destroy your company. All of that happens because people don't understand the difference between money coming in, money staying, and money actually belonging to them. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, about 20% of small businesses fail in the first year, and nearly 50% fail within 5 years. The number one reason is not competition, not marketing, not even product. It's cash flow mismanagement, which means most businesses don't die because they're bad ideas. They die because their owners didn't understand money. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not running a big company. I'm just starting. That's exactly why you need to understand this now, because bad habits formed early are almost impossible to fix later. Imagine two businesses that both make $100,000 in revenue in a year. Business A spends $90,000 to make that money. Business B spends $60,000. On paper, they look similar. But in reality, one keeps $10,000 and the other keeps $40,000. Same effort, same revenue, completely different life. This is why revenue is not success. Profit is. But even profit is not the most important number. Cash is. You can make $40,000 in profit and still go bankrupt if the cash doesn't arrive when your bills are due. Business finance starts with one brutal truth. Timing matters more than totals. If you earn $10,000 but receive it in 90 days and you owe $8,000 today, you're broke. That's why the first concept you must understand is cash flow. Not profit, not revenue, but cash flow. Cash flow simply means how much money enters and leaves your business and when. Think of your business like a bathtub. Revenue is the water coming in. Expenses are the water leaving. Profit is the water left in the tub. But cash flow is the speed and timing of that water. You can have a big faucet and still drain faster than you fill. That's why so many businesses with great sales suddenly collapse. Now let's talk psychology, because this is where everything actually breaks. Humans love big numbers. We love saying, I made 6 figures. But we hate looking at margins, because margins tell the truth. If you sell a product for $100 and it costs you $80 to deliver, you didn't make $100. You made $20. And that $20 has to pay for your time, your risk, your stress, and your future growth. Businesses don't scale on revenue. They scale on margin. Amazon didn't become Amazon because it sold a lot. It became Amazon because it mastered cost, logistics, and reinvestment. Uber didn't survive because it made profit early. It survived because it managed cash and funding long enough to dominate market share. Restaurants fail not because people don't like food, but because margins are thin and cash timing is brutal. Let's simplify everything into 4 numbers: revenue, cost, profit, and cash. Revenue is what customers pay you. Cost is what it takes to deliver. Profit is what's left. Cash is what you actually have access to. Every financial decision is just a relationship between those 4 numbers. Now add fixed costs and variable costs. Fixed costs exist whether you sell or not, like rent, software, and subscriptions. Variable costs only exist when you sell, like materials, shipping, and payment fees. Fixed costs kill beginners. A business with low fixed costs can survive mistakes. A business with high fixed costs cannot. This is why online businesses statistically survive more often than physical ones. Not because founders are smarter, but because the cost structure is forgiving. Let's do real math again. You sell something for $50. Your cost is 30. Your profit per sale is 20. You sell 100 units. Revenue is 5,000. Cost is 3,000. Profit is 2,000. Sounds good. But then you spend 1,200 on ads, 300 on software, and 200 on tools. Now your profit is 300. Same business, same sales, totally different outcome. This is where most beginners get emotionally confused. They think the business failed, when in reality, the math failed. Business finance is not about maximizing income. It's about controlling leaks. Small leaks sink big ships. Subscriptions you don't use. Tools you don't need. Ads you don't track. Fees you don't notice. A business can die from $50 leaks repeated every month. Then there's opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend is a dollar you can't use elsewhere. If you spend $1,000 on branding but your product isn't selling, you didn't invest. You delayed learning. Business finance teaches you to ask one question constantly. What is this money supposed to return financially, not emotionally? This might sound cold, but it's also freeing. When you understand money objectively, you stop feeling guilty about it. You stop attaching self-worth to profit. You stop panicking at losses. You start seeing business like a system instead of a personal judgment. Now let's talk about debt. Debt is not good or bad. Debt is a tool. Debt used to buy liabilities is dangerous. Debt used to buy assets can be powerful. Borrowing $10,000 to buy a car that makes you nothing is debt. Borrowing $10,000 to buy equipment that generates $20,000 is leverage. Same debt, different intelligence. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I just want to make money, not build an empire. Good. Then finance matters even more for you. Corporations can survive mistakes. You cannot. This is where it gets really interesting. The goal of business finance is not profit. The goal is control. Control over time. Control over stress. Control over choices. Profit is just proof of control. The biggest beginner mistake is reinvesting emotionally. People buy things because they feel like business owners. Office furniture, logos, fancy tools. But business finance says reinvest in what increases cash flow, not ego, not comfort, not appearance. Pricing is another major mistake. Most beginners underprice because they fear rejection more than bankruptcy. Cheap feels attractive, but cheap is fragile. A business with healthy prices can survive mistakes. Your price is not what customers pay. It's what your business can survive on. At first, you see money emotionally. Later, you see money structurally. At first, profit feels like a reward. Later, profit feels like fuel. This is the shift from worker to owner. Workers think in salary. Owners think in systems. Most people fail at business not because they lose money, but because they don't know why they lost money. Finance gives you feedback. Without finance, you repeat mistakes. So here's what actually works. Track every dollar, not for control, but for clarity. Separate business and personal money, because mixing them destroys thinking. Know your break-even point. Know your margin, not your revenue. Review monthly, not emotionally, but logically. Here's what most people don't realize. Business finance is not about becoming rich. It's about becoming calm. When you understand your numbers, stress drops. When stress drops, decisions improve. When decisions improve, money follows. That's why finance is freedom, not restriction. Two founders start together. One learns marketing first. The other learns finance first. The marketer grows faster. The finance one survives longer. And the one who survives longer eventually wins because business is not about speed. It's about staying in the game. Understanding business finance doesn't make you greedy. It makes you responsible. Responsible with time, with energy, with risk. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need a degree. You don't need complex models. You just need to respect the numbers because money is honest. It never lies. It only reflects. If this video helped you understand business finance in a clearer, calmer, more human way, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Because once you understand how money really works in business, you stop feeling lost. You start feeling in control, and that's when everything changes.